So this is a little background on that. Okay, so now we will try to create a virtual server. So to create a virtual server, we first need a key pair. So a key pair is basically like your username and password. You have a public key and a private key, and your public key will basically be uploaded to AWS, and your private key is the main key. Keep in mind that you have to keep it within yourself. That is like your password. You will need it to access your physical server. First of all, we'll generate our key pair. So if you see, this is the services console. You can see all the services and all the details from here. If you click on EC2, that is Elastic Compute Cloud, it will take you to EC2. So it has taken us to EC2, and herein you can see key pairs. So EC2 is the service which is responsible for launching virtual servers. So we will be using EC2 service to launch a server, and herein you can see key pairs. We will be needing this key pair to launch our virtual server. So you can hit this key pairs. Okay, so now we have been navigated to this screen. Now to create a key pair, we can simply hit this create key pair. You can give it a name. I am giving key val. Just give it a name and hit create. Okay, so your key pair has been created, and you can see it is also downloaded. So we will be using this. First of all, it will be a .pem file, that is privacy enhanced mail, and we will be converting it into ppk file, that is private file, and then we will be using putty basically to launch it. So this is the PEM file. To convert PEM file into PPK file, like, we can use puttygen. Puttygen is the utility. So let's download puttygen. Puttygen is basically utility which is offered by Putty. So we'll be needing Putty also. So you can simply download Putty and puttygen. So we have our Putty and puttygen in place. So we can simply launch it by clicking it. Okay, so this is Putty. So it is giving running the app might put. So you can run it, just say run anyway. Okay, so this is puttygen. So we will have to load our file, that is the PEM file which was downloaded from AWS. So we will be loading the PEM file. Make sure that this is selected SSH to RSA. So now load and select the file, and after loading the file, you can see it will give you this message, successfully imported foreign key. Just hit OK, and in key comment you can just give the name. So I am again giving it as keyval. Okay, just I'm giving it as keyval again, and you can say generate. So while it generates, I'll just pause the video for some time. Okay, so once it's finished, it will be like this, and I'll show you the file. So herein you can see .ppk file is generated. So now we'll be using this .ppk file for future reference. Okay, so I'm closing this puttygen now. Okay, so now we have the .ppk file and our key val pair. So we can go back to EC2 dashboard, and herein you can see, to launch an instance, we can simply say launch instance. And here are the various instances which we can launch. So this is Amazon Linux, which we talked about yesterday. So this is optimized for AWS. HVM basically indicates latest and fastest, and these are the AMIs which we have, but right now we don't have any AMIs. These are the AMIs from AWS Marketplace, and these are the free community AMIs. And you can also choose an AMI based on its OS. So we have this Amazon Linux, we have CentOS, Debian, and Ubuntu Windows also we have. And then architecture also you can specify whether you need a 32-bit or you need a 64-bit. And these are the storage, that is elastic block storage. So we'll discuss it later. So for our demo purpose only, we'll be using this free tier only. So will select free tier. So these are the AMIs which are the or Amazon machine images which are available for free. So we can use these without encountering any cost. So these are the various AMIs available. So we will be going for this Ubuntu Server 14.04 HVM. So HVM, as I told you, it indicates latest and fastest. So we will be selecting it. Just select, and you can see general purpose free tier eligible. So this is the one that is eligible for free tier. So we'll be using this. It has one CPU and it also has 1 GB of memory. So what is this T2? So here T basically indicates the family and 2 basically indicates generation. So T2 dot micro. Micro is basically the very small one. So it has only one CPU and it has 1 GB of RAM. And then we have M also, which has 2 CPUs and 8 GB of RAM. Similarly for X large we have 4 GB of 4 CPU and 16 GB of RAM. So these are various family and generations. We can choose accordingly, and whatever our requirement is. If our requirement is very simple, we can simply go for a micro machine. And if you want to do some complex calculation, or you want to run some big data application or parallel processing you want to do, then you can go for a machine which has more CPUs and RAM. So for our purpose only, for demo purpose, we will be using T2.micro only. You can just hit next, configure instance details. So number of instances to launch. If you want to launch like more instances of this type which we have selected, then you can just give the value. So let's say if you want to launch 10 instances, you can just give 10. So it will launch 10 similar instances which we have selected, but we want to launch only one instance, so let it be as one. So these are the details which we don't need to know right now. So click next. This is the storage. So we will be talking about storage also in our next sessions, so we will skip it. Now add tags. So tags are like key value pairs. So if you want to tag this instance, so you can tag this instance, and then later on if you want to review the same configuration or you want to get the same configuration, you can retrieve the same configuration using this tag.